Next up right here we have Captain Cardinal. This is my own creation right here. So we didn't really have any Cardinals pops, you know, we just had the Larry Fitzgerald one, and then before the this was way before the Josh Rosen pop came out recently. But this was actually a fake Captain America pop that I got at a comic shop. It was like $5. But yeah, as you can see, the shield is definitely not the right shield. So that's how you can tell it's a fake. As you can see, it's usually the normal Captain America pop would have like a clip-on shield, but this one is like, I don't know, this is not the right shield. So yeah, it was a fake, but I think it's pretty cool still, and I was able to customize it into something else. Next we got Boost from Cars. This was a custom that I made from a Cruz Ramirez pop. I figured the mold was pretty close, and I used this. I really want to make all the other delinquent road hazards, but I would have to get really good at molding because they require a lot of molding because they're very abstract. But yeah, this one was pretty good. Painted it all, I think we painted all white first, and then painted it over it with this like metallic sort of glittery purple. I think it looks pretty good. I kind of wish the purple was a little lighter, but other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Then I went over it with black on some areas, or I think it's gray in some areas, like the hood and around the wheels on the spoiler, so to kind of resemble the carbon fiber. And then I wrote in purple his name, Boost, on the side, because in the movie it's less obvious, kind of blends in, but it's there. And then printed out a decal and put the license plate that says his name there. It's falling off a little bit, but it's hanging on there. So yeah, but yeah, this is probably one of my favorites. Next we have this Carnage Demogorgon. I based this off of Bring the Mayhem's custom of Anti-Venom Carnage. So yeah, I decided to try it out, but with Carnage instead, and I think it turned out really well. And this was actually my first time recording myself making these customs, and started a new series, Customizing Pop Vinyls. I would like to continue that series, but there's not really much tips and tricks I have to show, and it's just basically repainting a lot of things or just swapping heads, so there's not really much to it. Maybe I'll get to it whenever maybe I start making more, you know, molded based ones. So like maybe if I decide to make the Delinquent Road Hazards, I can probably record that. But yeah, and unfortunately this guy's kind of leaning. When I first got him, he wasn't like that, and then all of a sudden he started to just kind of form differently. I don't know if maybe it was the heat or something, but he started to lean forward and is pretty easily you know, unstable. He kind of falls over sometimes, so I have him just kind of leaning against a post. But yeah, this was pretty cool custom. Next here we have a 8-bit Heat Vision Predator. I got a few of the GameStop Black Friday mystery boxes where they had the 8-bit pops in there, and I got 2 of the Predator ones, and so I decided to make this custom because, you know, I didn't really want 2 Predators, of course, so I decided to make this custom. I thought it turned out pretty well. A lot of the paint, at least the green, and I think a little bit of the red on there, is kind of blacklight reactive, so it kind of glows, you know, when I shine a blacklight on it. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. Kind of messy in some parts, but it's not meant to be super perfect, since it is, you know, just like a little heat vision, heat wave type paint job. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Alright, getting into some Gotham pops, this is the Mad Hatter. I did record this one as well. This was like my 3rd episode of the Customizing Pop Vinyls, and I think it turned out pretty okay. One of the hardest parts of this one is because since I used the regular Mad Hatter mold, he had like bushy eyebrows, and I had to just shave those off as best as I can, so you can probably see a little bit of a, you know, it's not very smooth in the face area, but I did the best I could, shave off some of those eyebrows. I kind of messed up and shaved off one of the eyes itself, like I chipped one of the eyes, but the paint kind of covered it. So yeah, but other than that, I think this one turned out pretty well. Next we have is Bruce Wayne, and this was during when Jerome Valeska was at a circus or something, and he invited Bruce there and kind of held him captive, and he put the face paint on him, and the mouth has like blood. It's supposed to be someone else's blood, and just smeared it on Bruce's mouth there. I think it turned out pretty good. I think someone else also made this custom as well. But yeah, I posted this on Instagram when I finished it, and I tagged the actor who plays Bruce, David Mazouz, and he actually liked the photo, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I think this custom turned out pretty good. Moving on to some Barbara Keane variants. There was quite a bit that I made because her look just changes so much throughout the show. But this is mainly one of her normal looks, like maybe season 1, season 2 look. This one was really hard to make. It just got too much cut on the inside. You can see, yeah, I cut too much on the head there, and yeah, and then like the neck part on the body was too big for this hole. So yeah, but other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. It's sitting in the box anyway, so you can't really tell that much unless you look closely. But yeah, the next Barbara variant is in her prison outfit. This one turned out okay. I used the Alice in Wonderland that I got from like one of those mystery boxes that sucked, and I just made it into something that I would enjoy. I kind of messed up on the outfit, to be honest. I think where the waist starts, towards the bottom of the dress, the lines go vertical instead of horizontal, so I should have done that instead of just all horizontal throughout the way. But other than that, I think this turned out pretty good. And the last Barbara variant we have is from her latest season, I believe. So this one was actually, I think, the first time that I started to mix colors. Usually I would just go with whatever colors I have in terms of paint or pen markers, whatever, but this time with the hair, I really needed to go super light with the yellow, so I had to mix yellow and white, and I think it turned out really good. It was really close to what the actual character, looks like. And yeah, that's pretty much, and then just painted the whole body black, and that was pretty much it. Next we have Victor Zsasz. This is probably one of the easiest customs that I had to do, because this was a Lex Luthor body from the Smallville line of pops, and all I did was paint the whole body black, and then get rid of the eyebrows, and that was pretty much all I did. So yeah, next we have Alfred Pennyworth. With the hair, I figured I should probably go for a little bit of gray, because I don't think he perfectly had any like brown hair or whatever, but I think there's a little bit of gray in there, so I kind of tried to do that with the silver and kind of brush it in there lightly. Kind of went too heavy on it, I think, but still looks okay. But yeah, this one I really like. I tried doing a little bit of age marks under the eyes and around the eyes. It was kind of tough because they would go too thick on there or too dark, and I had to kind of wipe them off just a little bit. But this was another custom that I posted on Instagram, and the actor who plays Alfred actually liked the photo as well, so I thought that was also really cool. Next we have a custom that isn't necessarily finished yet, but it's pretty close. This is the Riddler, and the only thing he's missing is his glasses, because he wears glasses in the show, so I figured he would need his glasses. The paint that I used for his suit is like a metallic-y green, because in the show it kind of looks metallic. This was really tough because the paint goes on really light, so I had to do like 10 coats in order to cover all like the question marks that were under the suit. But finally got it done. Turned out really great. And last but not least, probably one of my favorite Gotham customs that I've worked on is Mr. Freeze. I think this one turned out really well. When I started working on the body, I tried to mix, a blue and another color or whatever to try to make this like metallic kind of blue, but it did not turn out that way. It turned out like a very light sky blue, probably I think lighter than the eyes, and I was like, that's not gonna work. So I ended up having to go to Michael's, try and find a specific paint for this, and I found this metallic blue, thought it looked good, and then I tried it, and I think it turned out really well. The blue looks really great. The goggles was another thing that was kind of tough because I had to try and mold it around his head. So yeah, I had to custom make these goggles, and I think they turned out pretty well. A little kind of messy and not smooth in some areas, but I think it's good enough. The only downside with this one is that his head kind of looks down because the neck hole doesn't go down all the way. As you can see back here, the neck is really thick around the extra area. The neck hole for the head isn't wide enough for that. It can only go down that little bit, which is unfortunate. But other than that, I think it looks really good. Alright, next here we have Bat Duck. This is a combination between Daffy Duck and Batman. But this is kind of to coincide with the Superman Daffy Duck, which I really need. Especially now that I made this, I really want that Superman Daffy Duck. But I also kind of want to make a Batman Bugs Bunny to also go with the Superman Daffy Duck if I ever get that. I think that would be really cool too. And maybe someday I'll make a Bugs Bunny Superman. This one was kind of tough because this was from the this was actually an extra Duck Dodgers that I had. It wasn't even actually a Daffy Duck because Daffy Duck didn't really have, you know, like those gloves or the boots that would go well with it, or that belt. But Duck Dodgers had a perfect body for it. I kind of tried and looked at references from other people who made customs of this too. But yeah, so one of the tough parts was taking the actual dome off of Duck Dodgers. So I had to get like a screwdriver and get in between the cracks. Yeah, the cape, I wanted to try and make it flowy a little bit. I don't want it to make it, you know, just a standard flat. I wanted to try and make it kind of flowy. I think I did a pretty good job with that. And then the ears was kind of tough too. I had to remold one of the ears was like perfect as soon as I did it, and I just had to match the other one. So that was kind of tough as well. But I ended up doing it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Alright, next we have is, well, me. This is a custom of myself. Sorry I can't really have a reference photo for you guys, but maybe someday. But this is kind of to get a little idea of what I do look like, since I won't really do a face reveal right now. But the only thing missing is my glasses. I do need to get some glasses to put on there, but I think right now it looks pretty good. Especially to kind of compare it with my concept art, I think it looks pretty good. The jacket is a little darker, but I do actually like that more than the lighter version. And of course I have my dog right next to me, my corgi Corky. But yeah, and the beanie is pretty close to my actual beanie that I have. As you can see on the top there, it's like a pixel heart. It's supposed to resemble this right there, pixel heart. And then the pins on the side I made pink, and I actually do have a pin on the side, so it kind of worked out, because on the actual mold it shows a pin, or a couple pins there, but I actually do have a pin on the side of my beanie there, so I think that worked out pretty well. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite customs that I've ever done, of course, because it's myself, but yeah. Alright, and now for my most recent custom, which was probably maybe a couple weeks ago. That's how recent it was. Which is my Red Hulk Venom. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this already. I think it turned out really good. Seeing a couple other people on Instagram make this as well. They did a equally just as good job. But yeah, this one is very detailed, hard to get in some of the crevices. Probably ended up getting some paint on some areas I don't really want, but they're not super noticeable, so that's okay. But yeah, I think this one turned out super well. Seeing it next to the regular Green Hulk, they just look so good together. They look so different that, like, you know, they have two different personalities. But yeah, that's actually gonna do it for today's video. This was actually the second part, so if you haven't seen the first part yet, I recommend you watch that as well. Here's to more customs in the future, and I'll probably end up doing another video of more customs. But yeah, anyways, if you guys like this video, please, you know, share it or thumbs it up or whatever. You don't have to, but really help. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.